Alright, here we are very close to the beach that I've shown in the video yesterday. And as you can see, there is a kind of a pine forest just in between. So it's very unique. You actually have like cattle over there. Then you have the sand starting, and you have a pine tree forest, and then immediately afterwards you have the beach. And actually, this one they call the American pine, and it's not like it has been planted there by the people living here for a unique reason that actually you can use it for logging. It's wood. Pine trees grow much faster than other kind of trees, so actually you can cut them down and they are spreading again, and so you can use them for logging. Actually, there's another guy. There's something interesting. He put some bees over there, so there are beehives by the cabin, and he uses them so they can pollinate the flowers around, and especially take use of the pine trees. And so the honey has a lot of properties from the pine tree. This is also something interesting. That honey is a very good medicine, and it really depends. The honey can have different properties depending on the flowers that the bees are pollinating. Yeah. And the pine tree is special for pulmonary diseases, everything which has to do with the respiration and stuff. And this is a very easy to find plant, and you can take off some bark, and there's sticky resin, and then you can win turpentine of it. And turpentine is actually very good. Sometimes you see you have natural medicine, and then you say, all right, but there's turpentine in it, that's not very good. No, turpentine is actually it's very good for arthritis and these kind of troubles. And so it's not like saying, oh, there's a bad chemical in it. No, turpentine is very fine, it's very okay. Well, actually, the channel is more about plants, but I depict some trees. I have way more knowledge about plants than about trees. I know a few of the trees, and I know some of the properties. And what's basically very different and very interesting about trees is that you have much like in plants, you can have the flower, you can have the root that has some property, you can have the leaf that has some property, and even with the tree sometimes the bark has some property. But contrary to the plant, where more or less the same property will be around the plant, and depending on the season, in the winter, but the property will be more in the root due to the cold, so the plant will get back its energy in the root. Well, the trees works in a very different way. Sometimes you have a property that can only be found in the bark, that can only be found in the root, that can only be found in the flowering part, or that has a very different property, for instance, in the leaf, and different in the root. So this makes trees the much more interesting part to study, but also the more complex to understand. And actually, I've talked to many people, indigenous people. I should document this kind of stuff as well. It was unfortunate I didn't have a camera or anything, and I always ask them, why is it like that the part of the root is healing, and this kind of plant has only the flower can heal. And nobody actually, they say to me that that's how nature is, and nobody could give me some scientific or explanation for it. And yeah, so much about the American turpentine pine tree over there in the forest, and heading back to the beach now.